Hello everyone, my name is Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. We are once again reacting to another Brett Cooper video. This one is titled Gen Alpha is Never Told No. Now, with a lot of when I was a kid and I would act out or get to the point where I'm pissing my mother off, she has smacked me quite a few times. And rightfully so. I have deserved it because I was a little shit. My mom has told me I was her devil child, and you know what? I cannot disagree with that with all the shit I've given my mother over the years. She's even threatened. She's used 2 threats with me every single time, and they've worked pretty much every single time. The first threat she would use is to send me to boot camp if I didn't start behaving. And that was quite effective. And the second one is she would threaten me and my brother with our dad. Now, my dad is the nicest person in the world that you can ever meet, as long as you don't be disrespectful and piss him off. But I have pissed him off 2 different times. And he is a 30-year Army vet. He retired after 30 years. And so he's done the drill sergeant to me twice. And that was scary as shit. The first time was I was throwing water balloons off the 3rd floor balcony down at my brother, who was outside on the ground. Now, he told me to stop doing that. I didn't. I was about to throw the entire bag down. And he caught me before I could do that. And he yelled at me. He got in my face, and to the point where he backed me against the closet window. He never put his hands on me. I will say that. He has never struck me once in his entire life. But he has backed me against a couple of things. And that was the first time. The second time, he backed me against a sliding glass door. And he was doing the drill sergeant again because I kept lying to him. He knew I was lying to him. And I kept doing it to his face. And again, it scared the shit out of me. He's a couple inches shorter than me, but my God, can he be scary. But he has never struck me once. He has always done right by me, and he is a wonderful father. But it's I don't know if it's Gen Alpha that is the problem, because like I said, the Gen Alpha is never told no. So the generations keep becoming more and more, I'd say, out of control, because there are so much more restrictions on parenting now that their kids are becoming more and more out of control. Now, the reason why I told those stories about my parents is because back in the day, you were able to discipline your kids. And people don't understand. There is a difference between abuse and discipline. It's a very thin line, but there is a difference between abuse and discipline. Spanking your kids for doing something naughty, naughty to a point that it deserves a spanking, is not abuse. It's called discipline. I've been smacked quite a few times from my mom because I deserved it, and that's called discipline. It's not abuse. Abuse is, hitting or beating your kids for no reason at all other than the fact that you're angry at them. That is abuse, be it verbal, mental, or physical. Now, if you're doing it out of them being naughty to the point where they're continuously doing it over and over and over and over again, timeout's not working, telling them it's not working, nothing is working, and you smack them and that works, that's called discipline. Now, not everybody's going to agree with that, but that's just how I grew up, and I'm fine. But let's see what this has to say.
So how would you feel if you were a small child and it was your birthday? And you woke up and you were so excited to have cake, you were so excited to get presents, you were excited to get all the attention for one day, but then, when you go to blow out your candles, your siblings try to get in first, and rather than telling them no, your mom allows all of them to blow out your candles. As an 11-year-old, I'm sure that would hurt, I'm sure it would be annoying.
I'm sorry, but no. If it is a single child's birthday and you let other kids blow out the candles with that child, I'm sorry, but that's just not right. It's not right. If it's the kid's birthday, let the kid blow out the candles. Now, if it's twins or if it's a brother and sister who are born years apart but have the same birthday, then I think it's fine because it's the exact same birthday, or you can get separate birthday cakes. But still, just letting everybody else, every other kid, blow out the candles when it's not their birthday, that is not okay. It's not okay. It's not fair to the kid, and I would think it's considered kind of mean
and be confusing, and that is exactly what happened in a famous TikTok mom's recent video. And people online are calling attention to how behavior like this could have led to the Gen Alpha terror epidemic. Before we dive into this story though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you've not already, and of course, ring that notification bell if you never want to miss one of these videos. Alright, so the original video has now been deleted, as most videos and controversies are, but it has been reposted countless times at this point. So basically, this mom, her name is Cicely, she is a family and lifestyle creator.
Here's the thing, people. If you don't want everyone and their mothers to know your business, don't record it. Don't take a picture of it. Don't post it online. Because as soon as it goes on the internet, it is there forever. Because no matter if you delete the original, reposts and other re-downloads and other stuff is going to keep it on the internet forever. And you can't take down every single one of them. It is impossible to do that unless you delete the entirety of the internet, which good fucking luck with that. So if you want to keep shit private, don't record it, take pictures of it, or anything, or don't even post it. There is some stuff that should stay private, and if you want to ruin your life, go ahead and post it because it's going to be shared with millions upon millions of people. Because the internet exists basically everywhere on the planet. And everyone and their mother is going to see it, and you're going to get judged for it. That's the thing a lot of people cannot seem to comprehend. Is if it is on the internet, no matter if you want it or not, people are going to comment, and not everybody is going to be nice. And if you can't handle the comments and stuff, then you shouldn't have posted it. And you shouldn't be on the internet at all. Because not everybody is going to be nice. And in fact, there are some people who are going to be downright evil because they want to watch the world burn. And that's just how people are. Whether we like it or not.
Creator, it was her oldest daughter's 11th birthday, but all of her younger kids wanted to blow out the candles, and she let them. And she filmed it, and she put it on TikTok. And the camera just kept rolling as her oldest daughter, the birthday girl, progressively got sadder and sadder as the video went on. Just watch.
Oh no. This is...
So because we need to blur their faces, I just want to give you kind of a...
I feel so bad for this girl. I'm sorry, but you know what? If I had kids and my friends had kids and they asked if they could blow out the candles as well, I'd tell them no. It is my kid's birthday. They are the ones that are going to blow out the candles. I'm not going to relight the candles just so everyone else's kids can blow them out. That is, I see this blatantly disrespectful to the birthday kid. Why would you do that? You are crushing their feelings. It is supposed to be their day. It is their birthday. The focus is supposed to be on them. And you're tearing away that focus and that feeling away from that poor kid. I'm sorry, but if you're a parent and you do this, you are crushing your kids' feelings. What is wrong with you?
Play-by-play of what happened. So the oldest girl, she's wearing a little headband. It says happy birthday. She gets up to blow her candles. Her younger sister is immediately already leading in, so she reaches over and puts her hand in front of her little sister's face. And you can say about that what you will, but she already knows that this might be coming. And then...
Yeah, there was... I'm sorry, I keep pausing it. There was another a video where I find it funny because it's been reposted so many times and I find it hilarious. This kid was trying to blow out his candles. It took him... I think like 2 or 3 tries to fully blow all of them out. The dad, I think it was the dad that was standing behind him with a paper plate. anytime the little kid that was next to the kid that was blowing out the candles, every time he tried to turn and blow, the father would put the plate in front of his face so you couldn't blow him out. And when they were finally done blowing out the candles, the little kid next to him started crying his eyes out because he couldn't blow out the candles. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. It's that kid's birthday. He gets to blow out the candles. You fucking don't. Anytime I see that video, I find it fucking funny because the father keeps blocking the kid with a fucking plate.
And the little girl turns around and cries, "Oh, mommy, I want to blow out the candle." So then Cecily picks up that child.
You just had to bring in the video of John Wayne fucking chucking the kid into the pond. For those who don't know, I've seen the full clip of it. I haven't watched any of the John Wayne movies. My mom has. She fucking loves the guy. But in this one, the kid basically tells John Wayne, I can't swim. And he's like, what? You can't swim? And basically says, well, you're going to fucking learn now. Grabs the kid, and as you can see, he just chucks him into the water. And then the mother comes by and says, well, you can't swim. Well, go. And then he tells her, just go in and get him. And she says, well, I can't swim either. He turns to her, gives her a look, and she can see that the look he's giving her, it's basically the look of, I'm going to throw you in there too. So she turns around and starts running away.
Blows out the 11-year-old candles. They relight the candles. Another child comes in and blows them out. They relight them yet again. Another child comes out and blows out the candles. And then standing on the sidelines, the 11-year-old girl whose birthday it is just stands there, and guys, she gets so sad. She just looks dejected and annoyed, and she's just watching all of her siblings blow out her candles on her pile of cookies. And of course, at 11 years old, like I said,
that was a
I'm
pile
sure
of
that this
cookies?
sucked. Like saying no or it's not your birthday would have been such an easy thing for the mom to do. And because of that, the internet lit into Cecily. I mean, reposts of her video now have over 15 million views. Young people are making really hostile videos.
It's because a lot of these parents of Gen Alpha are so afraid of hurting their own child's feelings that they give in so easily so they can make the child happy. The thing is, parents need to understand you are not always going to keep your child happy. Sometimes you're going to hurt their feelings. That's part of growing up. They need to learn this stuff. You can't just try and, acquiesce to all their desires. You cannot do that. That is no way to raise a child. You have to raise your child the best way you can, which you have to also understand is that not everything you do is going to make them happy. You're going to have to tell them no. They have to understand the word and the meaning of no. If you never tell them no throughout their entire life, they're going to have one hell of a time when they go out into the real world, and there are people who do not give a single iota of a shit about your kids' feelings. They won't. They'll tell them no or fuck off. And they're not going to be able to handle that very well because they were never told no in their entire life. I've been told no so many fucking times in my entire life. I understand the meaning of no. I am so afraid for Gen Alpha because a lot of the parents of these bratty ass kids are not being told no when they should have obviously been told no.
Videos saying, my parents did stuff like this and I don't speak to them anymore. Like, the attacks have been very harsh. One person said, that'll be a core memory for all the wrong reasons. Another person said, that's going to be internal silent hate towards the siblings for life. Somebody else said, she just doesn't know what kind of trauma she's creating in the oldest and the entitlement she's creating in the little ones. It is not okay. Now, before she deleted the video for about a day, Cecily was in the comments apologizing and saying, I'm still learning. It's my first time being a mom too. I should have realized that was not the best way to handle it. I'll do it differently next time. We've addressed this at home, but still the conversation online has not stopped. And I'm sure that is making things at home more difficult for them. Yet another reason why I'm just not a fan of putting your young children and your family on blast on social media for millions of people to see and comment on. But, you know, that is a topic for another time. I've talked about this at length. You can go watch those episodes if you want to hear me rant about that. Anyway, before we get into what other people are really talking about and how this ties into Gen Alpha, I want to be clear and say that I have no hard feelings towards Cecily. She lives here in Nashville. I'm sure that we have run in similar circles at some point. Her husband is a pastor. They moved here from California, and she just seems really, really sweet. She seems so joyful, and based on what viewers can see, she really tries to fill her children's life with so much love, so much fun. She seems very intentional. And even though she is making videos like 5 times a day and she's putting it all on camera, it does seem like her children live a very, very full and happy life. I mean, for example, she was making videos leading up to her daughter's birthday where she was showing the lengths that she was going to make these homemade decorations. They were Taylor Swift themes. She had, you know, the cricket out. She was making her own posters and banners and all of that stuff. She was excited about the present she was getting her daughter. It was very, very happy. It seemed very wholesome. So all of that to say, I don't think that she is a bad mother by any means, but it has sparked a big conversation online about modern parents not being able to say no to their kids, which is so true, and that is very important to talk about. I mean, you guys have seen the stories about Gen Alpha, the rabid, boundaryless iPad kids who are running around Sephora, destroying displays and terrorizing retail workers, who are literally...
Yeah, there was somebody that said something about these iPad kids. And it's like whenever a parent runs into a problem with their kid, like they want to occupy them so they don't disturb them with what they're doing with work or whatever else they're doing. They'll be like, oh, my kid's acting out. Here's an iPad or whatever it is you have. Oh, my kid's bugging me. I need to occupy him for a while. Here's an iPad. No, that is not a good way to raise your kids. Hell, my mom would lock me and my brother outside the house sometimes, even during the winter, because, well, my mom thought I was inside a little too much because I would never go outside. Hell, even now I don't even go out. The only time I ever go outside is when I go to work or I have to go to the store or, you know, any sort of family function. Other than that, I don't go outside at all. I don't care to. There's nothing to do out there besides going on a walk, or I have to spend money to do something. And in today's economy, it's fucking expensive. But when you're a kid, you shouldn't... When you're a parent of a kid who is not even an adult yet, you shouldn't just occupy them with an electronic like an iPad or something. You know, you should have, like, get them a trampoline. Get them something to go outside and play. Have them touch grass. Don't just give them an electronic that'll put them in a zombie mode for however many hours you need to occupy them. They need to go out and get some exercise, you know, expend some of that energy.
Making teachers quit because they are so hard to deal with. Just watch to jog your memory.
Yesterday, I broke up an assault in my band hall. Not a fight, an assault. A kid punching another kid in the head at least 4 or 5 times. Some mystery kid decided to get creative over the last 12 hours when I wasn't paying attention and literally took every single string off of every single French horn that we own, making them unplayable. Never in my 13 years of teaching have I ever had such a problem with kids keeping their hands to themselves and keeping them from destroying property. I love my kids, but I'm beaten and abused and tired.
I mean, that is wild. That's not kids just interrupting or being on their phones. They literally know no boundaries. And teachers, you know, they can try to discipline them, but that all starts at home. Here's another example.
Gentle parenting is ruining our children. Some children need a little firmer of a hand. It's starting to impact.
I'm sorry, but if there's anybody out there who thinks gentle parenting is the way to go, it's the best way to raise your kids, you are fucking delusional. It has turned kids into fucking monsters who have no idea of self-respect, respect for others, morals, a conscience, boundaries. They don't fucking know nothing. Gentle parenting, I think, is the dumbest fucking way to raise your kids. Because when you raise a child, they need to learn self-respect. They need to learn respect for others and for the authority. Because if they don't have respect for authority, then they're going to get in a lot of fucking trouble. They need to learn morals. They need to have a conscience. They need all this sort of stuff. And yet gentle parenting is just throwing that all to the wayside, making sure that your kid is happy. They never know hardship. They never know the word no. They don't know nothing. They're just making them happy at the expense of themselves. Don't ever raise your kid with gentle parenting. Kids need a firm hand to show them a good way to grow up. If I grew up with gentle parenting, I would have been such a fucking little shit. My God, would I have been a monster. I am glad I was raised the way I was, because I have respect for others. I have morals. I have a fucking conscience. I know how to fucking think logically and in reality. I don't live in a fantasy world where the world revolves around me. Gentle parenting is destroying the generation. It is probably the worst way to raise your kid.
Impact schools. It is starting to impact teachers. Teachers are leaving the profession by thousands every year because of the way children behave. Sometimes you have to punish your kids, okay? You just have to. They can't always negotiate their way out of consequences.
Like, how is this a hot take? How is this controversial? Like, I cannot believe that these poor teachers are having to go online and beg parents to discipline their kids. But sadly, it's become the norm to just send your kids to school for 6 to 8 hours. You know, the teachers will handle it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to work, they'll handle it. And then they get angry at the teachers for not disciplining their children. But again, it all starts in the home. It starts with the parents. My friend Amir, who you guys know I just adore, he is the best. He recently did a whole video on this, specifically on why teachers are quitting. You should go check out his channel, Chef's Kiss. He's amazing. And if you want to hear more about Gen Alpha specifically and the Sephora kids and all of that, we'll link some of our episodes below because it is truly an epidemic and we've talked about it a lot recently. But obviously, as I keep saying, this behavior has to come from somewhere. It does not just happen out of thin air. The contempt, the lack of respect for adults, the lack of respect for personal space, the violence, that comes from a lack of discipline and a lack of boundaries. From not knowing simple things like how to share or how to wait your turn. And that is why people were so alarmed by Cecily's video. Because for once, they saw this behavior being encouraged in real time and from a mother that people love and who obviously is very well intentioned. This is not a neglectful mom. She is not a bad mom. She does seem like she's a good mom. And so
Yeah, look, no parent is perfect. I will say that, because no human on earth is perfect, because there's no such thing as perfection. Parents make mistakes all the time, because nobody truly knows how to be a parent. It is not there is no golden rule or golden set of rules on how to be a parent. Nobody knows how to be a parent. Everybody's always learning how to be a parent. So no one's perfect. But everyone should know how to at least teach their child some respect, boundaries, patience, morals, and a conscience. They should at least know the minimum of that. Everybody should know that, parent or not. But parents especially need to learn how to instill that stuff into their kids. And I understand parents will make mistakes. No parent is perfect, like I said. Nobody knows a golden set of rules to raise your kid. But you should at least know the minimum amount of how to instill those sort of things into your child, so they don't become a monster or get in trouble with the law or hurt themselves or any sort of stupid shit like that when they grow up and go out on their own.
So I think that that was a wake-up call for a lot of people. And I think it was great that people were able to track this and see the pattern. It kind of reminds me of when I use my Lumen to track my metabolism. Now, I get questions all the time about where to start Lumen, you're gain real time your health. Go to lumen.en.me. It's so cool to see in the behavior. Puzzle pieces of my body and health come together. Kind of like the puzzle pieces of this story and the behavior patterns. Now, this mom on TikTok had just a great take on this entire thing.
We need to bring back no. And that's not a joke. Because I really feel like there's actually a stigma around saying no to your kid, because gentle parenting has become mistaken with submissive parenting.
Or lazy parenting. Parents who do not want to do the hard thing, that do not want to have confrontation, that do not want to deal with the hardships of disciplining your children because it's uncomfortable and you don't want to make them sad. They go, oh, well, I'm gentle parenting. No, that's you being lazy and excusing your lazy, bad parenting.
Gentle parenting would have just been saying, no to her other kids firmly but nicely. This is not your day. This is your sister's day. I guess I just feel that this generation of parenting is so afraid to traumatize our kids that we forget that saying no is not a bad thing, that making them wait and be patient and be bored and be quiet is not a bad thing.
Also, the idea that something as simple as saying no is traumatizing. And that also connects to a whole other issue of mental health and mental illness being so normalized to the point of it meaning nothing. Like, trauma is real. There are people that have very, very serious trauma. PTSD is real. Saying no to your child is not traumatizing them. And if you genuinely think that it is, we need to step back and have a completely different conversation.
iPads in the car, at restaurants, I don't think they're doing it to be bad or to be lazy. I really feel like they just want their kid to always be happy and always be comfortable and always be entertained, and like that's the best thing to do. But if you talk to an adult that is resilient, that is motivated, that is respectful, they probably were told no a lot in their life.
Car rides. They I remember sometimes going to sleep in car rides just to make the time go by faster, because growing up the only thing I really had is if I had I would have sometimes have a Game Boy Color with Pokemon blue version or green version, yellow version, you know, I had blue version. If I didn't have batteries, I would have to use a battery pack. And if the battery pack was dead, I'd have nothing. I'd just be bored listening to the music or whatever my parents had on the radio. And you know what? That's just how it was sometimes growing up. I would be completely bored and I would just go to sleep. And now I think sometimes these kids need to be bored. They need to be bored. They need to understand boredom.
I'm sure the smartest people on this planet had a lot of time to be bored and a lot of time to use their brain. I also feel that people use the word trauma way too much because not everything is trauma.
I think people have lost what the true meaning of trauma is. It has been used so entirely too much that it has lost its true meaning. Because not everything that has happened to somebody is traumatic. I mean, I understand trauma is different for every single person, but not everything that has happened is actual trauma. And the word trauma or traumatic has sort of been so watered down it's pretty much lost its true meaning. So, yeah.
The kid is not going to get traumatized for crying, for being bored because you said no.
I mean, I agree with every single thing that you said. That was so balanced. It was kind, but it was firm. Spot on. And it obviously struck a chord with people. One woman said, as a teacher who has to work with students on the daily who are clearly never told no, I appreciate you speaking up about this. Another woman said, as an elementary teacher, these kids will look at you so wildly when you say no. That word does not exist in so many students' vocabulary, so thank you for speaking up. Another person said, as a nanny, this is spot on. Literally, some parents let their kids do whatever they want nowadays because they want their kids to be happy every minute. And it's not just that this has happened accidentally. Like, gentle parenting experts and therapists and proponents of the participation trophies have all been encouraging this for years. It has been a slow burn, and now we are seeing the results of this type of parenting. And again, I don't think that these are bad people. I think that a lot of this was very well-intentioned. And while they might just have wanted to make their kids feel good or feel included or...
I forget what the actual saying is, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You can have good intentions all you want, but it's the actions of those intentions that are judged. So you may have good intentions, but the actions behind it are just not good. So just like the saying goes, all roads to hell the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Or not be as strict as their terrible boomer parents. We have obviously gone way too far in the opposite direction. Kids need structure, and discipline. They often don't understand nuance or subtleties yet. And saying no should not be thought of as triggering. And you should not teach your kids that hearing it is triggering or prepare them for it to be triggering. Because when they become adults and they go into the real world, they are going to face a harsh reality of constant no's when things do not go their way, because that is just kind of how life is. Life is a never-ending sea of challenges that we all have to overcome. And every time that we overcome them, we become better. We become better, more well-informed, well-intentioned people. That's how life works. And you need to teach your kids that from a very young age, starting with not letting them blow out their sister's candles because they want to be included. No, just say no. It is so easy. And we cannot let this go any further, because based on the victim mentality that has taken hold of our society, I would say that we are already seeing the very dire consequences. So yes, it is time to change course, parents. Well, guys.
Yep. I would have to agree with pretty much all of that. This gentle parenting, this constantly trying to make your child happy and content and make sure they're not bored, they're not unhappy, they're not crying or anything. I'm sorry, but that's just not working. It's going to lead to a world of hurt and a world of monsters. These kids need to learn the meaning and intention behind the word no. They need to understand not everything is going to go their way. They need to learn respect, both for authority, other people, and themselves. They need to learn boundaries. They need to have a set of morals. They need to have a conscience. They need to learn all this stuff. And that all starts with the parents. These parents need to instill this stuff so they are ready for the world when they are not living with you and they have to take care of themselves. Because the world is a cruel place. It can also be a good place, as long as you know how to take care of yourself and you know how to conduct yourself. But it is a harsh reality if you don't raise them with these things, and you're constantly telling them yes and you never tell them no. So these kids need to learn that. And I hope this gentle parenting just fucking dies. So that was Brett Cooper's video, Gen Alpha is Never Told No. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this new generation never being told no. Make sure to subscribe. I post 3 days a week. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.